What if the animal digging up your lawn at night isn't destroying it, but quietly fixing a problem you didn't know was already there? You step outside at dusk, maybe to grab something from the shed, and you catch the flash of black and white near the fence line. Your instinct is immediate: chase it, kill it, get it gone. But that skunk could be working through a pest problem already living under your grass, and the way you react in the next 30 seconds determines whether you walk away clean or spend the rest of the week asking your neighbors to keep their windows shut. Meet the striped skunk, Mephitis mephitis, one of the most recognized animals in North America and probably the one people most reflexively want removed without a second thought. The black and white pattern makes it impossible to miss. Most animals that want to survive do the opposite: they hide. The skunk advertises itself. That is not a coincidence. That pattern is a biological warning label, and it has been working so effectively for so long that the skunk barely needs to use its actual defense most of the time. Here is what most people do not understand about the spray. The skunk does not want to use it. Recharging those scent glands takes up to 10 days. That is 10 days of being defenseless against coyotes, foxes, and owls. So the skunk has developed one of the most elaborate warning sequences in the animal kingdom before it ever commits to spraying. It stomps its front feet. It raises its tail. It may hiss or bluff charge toward you. That sequence can last several seconds, sometimes longer. Most people who get sprayed either never saw the warning or moved toward the animal instead of away from it. The skunk did not ambush anyone. The person walked into a warning sign and kept going. The other thing working against close encounters is the skunk's eyesight, which is genuinely poor beyond about 10 feet. It navigates primarily by smell and sound. That means when you walk toward one in dim light, it may already be responding to your footsteps before you can even see what it is. Its tail goes up before you realize something is there. You assume it appeared from nowhere. It assumes you are a predator that has already ignored 2 warnings. That gap in perception is where most encounters happen, not from aggression, but from 2 creatures startling each other at the wrong distance. So what is it actually doing in your yard? Those shallow, cone-shaped holes you find in the lawn in late summer, the ones people assume are skunk damage, are not damage at all. They are evidence of a skunk hunting white grubs, the larvae of beetles like Japanese beetles and June beetles, feeding in clusters just below the surface of your soil. Those grubs are already severing the root systems of your grass. Left alone, they cause the large brown dead patches that appear later in the season, and they attract secondary diggers, raccoons, crows, moles that tear up even more turf trying to reach them. The skunk found the grubs because it can smell them underground. You would have found them eventually through dead grass. The skunk is not causing a lawn problem. It is showing you one that was already there. And it does not stop at grubs. A skunk that locates a yellow jacket grounded nest, the kind hidden in a patch of grass or under a low shrub, will return at night and excavate the entire colony. It eats the adults, larvae, and comb. Its thick fur provides some protection against stings, and it absorbs what does get through. By morning, a nest that could have contained several thousand insects is gone. The same nest that, come afternoon, someone's kid or dog might have stumbled directly into. The skunk is not consciously protecting anyone. It is hungry. But the result is that a genuine hazard disappears overnight, and most homeowners never knew it was there to begin with. That function is real, and it matters, but it does not make the skunk safe to be near. This is where the risk needs to be understood clearly, not minimized. Skunks are one of the primary wildlife rabies reservoirs in the United States. A healthy skunk, foraging at dusk or dawn, displaying its warning sequence, and retreating when given space, is a very different situation from a skunk that is active in full daylight, moving erratically, staggering, or approaching a person without provocation. That second animal is a medical emergency. The 2 situations can look superficially similar to someone who does not know what normal behavior looks like, which is exactly why most people default to one response regardless of which they are actually facing. If you find this channel useful and want more of this, real explanations of the animals actually living around your home, not just vague warnings, subscribe now. Because the mistakes people make around skunks go well beyond panicking, some of them actively create the worst possible outcomes. Tomato juice. You have probably heard it. It does not neutralize skunk spray. It masks the odor temporarily enough that you stop noticing it indoors while it bakes back to full strength on a warm day or after your dog gets wet again. What actually works are enzymatic products designed to break down the thiol compounds responsible for the odor. For pets, a mixture of hydrogen peroxide, baking soda, and dish soap applied before rinsing is the veterinarian recommended field option, but rinse thoroughly and keep it away from eyes. People also insist that skunks chase you. They do not. A skunk moving toward you is orienting toward sound or smell. Its pursuit instinct does not exist in any meaningful sense. If it appears to follow you, you are probably moving toward it while it tracks you by sound and tries to establish what you are. Here is a more dangerous myth: that you can safely trap and relocate a skunk yourself. Setting a live trap near a potentially rabid animal and then handling or transporting a now enclosed and terrified skunk is one of the highest risk interactions you can engineer. Many states require a licensed wildlife control operator for live trap relocation. Disturbing a trap triggers the spray at extremely close range, and if the animal bites during the process, even through thick gloves, you are potentially looking at a rabies exposure. And for anyone who has a dog, the dog will not outrun the spray. The range is accurate to around 10 to 15 feet. A pursuing dog is a close, fast-moving target. Most dogs sprayed by skunks were not wandering near one. They were chasing it. Pursuit eliminates the animal's option to retreat, which is the only outcome the escalation sequence was designed to produce. The situations that create the worst encounters are almost always ordinary. You let the dog out after dark without checking the yard first. You move a tarp or a stack of firewood near the back fence without looking at the far side, and a skunk that has been denning there is now cornered, possibly with young. You use a flashlight or a phone screen to locate a skunk at close range, which disrupts its ability to track your distance and may accelerate its response. Someone reaches under a deck to grab a garden tool without looking first. If you find yourself close to a skunk, stop moving. Back away slowly. No sudden noise. No hose, no thrown objects, no short tool. Give it a clear path away from you and it will usually use it. If it is already stomping and its tail is raised, you have maybe 3 to 5 seconds to create distance. That is usually enough. If the skunk is denning under a structure, that is a legitimate problem, especially in late spring when a female may have young. Do not seal the entry point with the animal inside. Contact a licensed wildlife control operator. One-way exclusion devices allow the animal to leave without allowing re-entry, and timing the exclusion to avoid separating a mother from dependent young matters significantly. For prevention, start with what attracted it. If your lawn has a grub problem, treating for grubs removes the primary reason a skunk was investigating your yard in the first place. Secure compost, pet food, and accessible trash. Seal deck skirting and foundation gaps, but only after you have confirmed the space is vacant. Eliminate the conditions, the behavior follows. Those cone-shaped holes near your fence line are not a skunk's destruction. They are the evidence of something that found a pest problem before you did, worked through it overnight, and moved on. The skunk did not choose your yard randomly. It chose it because something worth eating was already living there, underground, out of sight, and slowly killing your grass. Think of it less like a pest and more like a night shift inspector. You did not hire and cannot direct, but who showed up because the job was already posted? You may not want it in the building, but before you try to remove it, it helps to know what it found. So here is the honest question. If you walked outside tonight and saw a skunk near the woodpile, knowing what it's most likely doing there, knowing how the spray actually gets triggered, knowing what's probably living in your soil, would you leave it alone? Call someone in the morning, or still act on the first instinct? Both answers are worth thinking about. Because the skunk didn't bring the problem to your yard, it found the one that was already there.